Hello everybody, welcome again. This is Gina. Today we're doing prompt number 7. It's a prompt list created by Little Bit of E-Design. My page is not prepared, so I can't find my gesso, so I'm using acrylic paint to prep my page, which is to protect it from all the stuff that I'm going to put down, so that the paint that I'm going to put down will not soak into the page. It will rest on top and it will be vibrant and yeah. So I forgot to protect the center of my book, my spine, so I put down a piece of masking tape in the middle. Yes, I did it after because I forgot. So that's nice and dry, and now I'm going to apply my paint, my background paint for the page, for the prompt. So I'm using green and yellow acrylic paint. The paint I'm using is by Deco Art. Now I'm going in with a darker green, and I'm spreading that using a brayer instead of a brush because I wanted some texture. I didn't want it to go down smooth and silky. When you use a brayer, the paint doesn't cover every single part of the page, so it adds a nice texture to it. And I'm just using a baby wipe to clean off the paint. So here now I'm bringing in my cutting mat because I decided that I wanted to use some trees. So I had an image printed out. I'm using tissue paper to copy. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm using it to copy the trees, and then I wanted to apply it onto the page. So because it's tissue paper, when I applied the paper would disappear and you would just see the image. Well, it wouldn't disappear totally, but it kind of fade into the page. You wouldn't see it as much, and you would just see the image of the trees left behind. So I was pretty excited. Look at those trees. They look beautiful. I was so excited to use the trees. And I'm just tearing around it because I don't want all that excess white around the image with the trees. It's one image. So now I'm putting it down to see where it would fit, how it would look. And I don't like it. It's just not working. So I pull out my handmade paper stencil. This is a stencil. I can't even remember the name of this flower. I'm sure somebody knows. Y'all could leave it in the comments. And I'm adding my color. Because I'm looking at it and it's see-through. Yeah. So only afterwards I realized that I should have added white first, then added my color. So I'm adding my color after, which is turning it pink, and it's not too bad, but I actually wanted it red. But we go with the flow. Mistakes happen in art and creating. So we're going with the flow and we're going to see what happens. So I'm painting. Doing my little buds. I'm trying not to get it smudged, so I'm drying it with the stencil there. Because I didn't want to move it and then have to put it back, and in case I didn't put it back in the right place, I just try my best to keep it where it was. And I'm going in with another layer of the red to get it red instead of pink. these flowers. They started to irritate me, but I kept pressing on. I went with it. So because the page is already green, I decided that I would just outline the leaves and the stems with the black. I'm using a CD marker because that's what I have. I encourage every one of you to use what you have. So I'm using my CD marker and I'm trying my best for the paper not to move around too much. And the image isn't all that, so I'm just filling it in now and trying to fill out the shape, adding some more detail. I smudged my flower. So I'm trying to wipe it up now, and I rubbed off the green. Yeah, lots and lots of things happen when you're creating. So don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. Just continue and keep drawing or painting or whatever it is you're doing. Folding your paper, whatever. Just keep doing it. Don't worry about the mistakes. It adds character. So I'm gonna try and fill in that space, but I didn't have the green that I used. So yeah, I was a bit annoyed, but I left it. I said it's fine. It'll work. I'll make it work. And because of these things that happen along the way, the mishaps, sometimes it changes your plan. Now I'm going in with my marker again, and I didn't want to give it an exact outline. So I would call this doodling, from the last video. So I'm just kind of doing a rough doodle, not an exact outline. I'm just doing a rough doodle over the flower and the stems and, just... So it won't be perfect. It's not perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect. I wanted it to be kind of messy, if that's the right word. Just trying to fill in my leaves and add some more details. I'm gonna try and put my tree back in, and it just didn't feel right, so off to the side again. Now for my bird stencil, which is also paper made, I'm trying to figure out where to put it. This is gesso, white gesso I'm using to fill in the space before I add my color to the bird. I did not check to see what colors birds could be, and I'm just going from the top of my head, which usually doesn't go too well. But I was pressed for time, so ta-da! There's my white bird. I was going to outline it, but changed my mind and decided to just add paint. So I didn't want to mess up the outline, so I'm placing my stencil back over the image again, and then adding my color over the stencil. And I'm using a very cheap makeup sponge. Yeah, apparently I picked up paint somewhere and I didn't realize, so it's not completely yellow. You could use what you have. If you don't have sponge, you could use your brush, you could use your finger even. Just make sure and press it down so that it doesn't go underneath. Yeah, my colors are getting mixed up now. I'm trying to blend. My sponge is irritating me and I just ripped off the tip. I needed a clean spot. Coming in again with some more yellow. I'm just coloring my bird. Now I'm using my Stabilo oil pencil. It's black, it's water soluble, and it's soft, and the lead is waxy. It writes on almost any surface. It's really soft and it feels like it's melting into the paper. It's so soft. It's really nice. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. If I didn't have that, I would have used a charcoal pencil or charcoal. I would have used that if I didn't have these Stabilo oil. So as I said before, it's water soluble, so I'm going in with water on my brush. It's just plain water I'm putting on my brush, and I'm just activating the lines where I put the Stabilo pencil marks, and I'm just smudging. I'm just going all around the bird, smudging the line with the water and the brush. Here I'm just adding a border around my page just to give it a frame so it look a little more complete. And just scribbling little leaves on the frame itself. So it's a line and a little loop, line, and it's just loops. Nothing dramatic, nothing fancy, and it's definitely not perfect. Just random loops that's supposed to represent leaves. And here this is a journal. It's just, I use it mainly for art, but it's a journal and I write a lot as well. So I'm just writing a little note to God, telling him that I appreciate him and, just a little bit, not a lot, what he means to me, and just to say thank you. And off camera, I decided to add some leaves, and they kind of look like they're falling from the sky, I guess. Add some dots just to fill in the page a bit. So thank you so much for joining me again, and I look forward to seeing you next time for the next prompt. Bye!